Okay, well, good Monday afternoon, New York Jet fans and NFL fans. It is October 14th, 2024, 1:12 p.m., and you are watching The Takeoff. My name is Alex. I am on a break from work for about 15, 20 minutes. So instead of eating, I'm going to get my steps in, discuss tonight's game, and I'm going to start off with, first of all, it is football weather today. And I don't mean Green Bay frozen tundra, but I mean it is a crisp fall day. Basically, the leaves are coming down off the trees. You can hear the wind in the background. Right now, I believe it's in the 60s. Where tonight during the game, I think the low is in the 40s or upper 40s, maybe close to 50. So it will have a little crispness in the air, not Christmas, but crispness in the air for Jets and Bills tonight. And so we're 6 days after Robert Saleh was let go by Woody Johnson. There have been so many stories coming out about why he was let go. From Aaron Rodgers had him taken away, to Woody Johnson because he lost in London and he's the ambassador to London, to him wearing a Lebanon flag on his shirt. Let's be honest now, okay? If you took away that Aaron Rodgers was the quarterback, if you took away that Woody Johnson was the ambassador to London, and you look at his record, his record shows he should be fired. Okay, so let's go by that. Aaron Rodgers came out and basically tried to set the record straight. Hey, I don't have that much power in the organization to get him fired. Now, I don't think Rodgers met with Woody Johnson and said, "Yep, get rid of him." I think Woody had the idea of getting rid of him, to firing Saleh, and ran it by Rodgers, and Rodgers kind of said, maybe a change is needed. That's all Woody needed to move forward. What my concern is we have not heard from Joe Douglas, the GM. Okay, and I know the personnel move was made by the owner, but usually any personnel moves that are made, the GM is, front and center. Woody did get on a conference call, explain why he made the move to, the reporters, and that was it. We have not heard from Joe Douglas. We have heard from players. Robert Saleh made a statement. So, all parties said it's not the Lebanon flag. Even Robert Saleh said it. So, listen, we're moving on. Tonight, Ulbrich is the interim head coach. Here's a little history. Since the merger, anytime a coach was fired in between a year, okay, during a season, and an interim head coach took over, the team never made the playoffs. So no team has ever made the playoffs with an interim head coach taking over in that first year. So does history have, a change coming, or do the Jets fall into and continue that history? They have a lot on their plate. They really have to get out of their own way, if you think about it. They have the talent to do it. They have the talent to win. And I think for the past few years, they played Buffalo very close. I think they split with them the last 2 years. Both games winning at home. In both games, Josh Allen throwing multiple interceptions and multiple turnovers forced by the Jet defense. So we should see. But tonight starts at least the, Jeff Ulbrich era as head coach with the Jets for at least this season. So you say, all right, you got Mosley coming back tonight, which thank God he missed, I believe, 3 games. You have the interim head coach. You think the defense is going to be psyched. They're going to be ready. Rodgers has been unlimited in practice. So some concern there. But you know what? In the long run, I think he'll be fine to play. questions are offensive line. How do they respond? I almost forgot. We have a new play caller on the sidelines. So they, like I said, they moved Nathaniel Hackett, and he will not be calling the game. So that starts tonight also. What is going to be the change tonight? Does the offensive line pick up their assignments? Do they block better? Is it the play calling? I mean, these are questions that probably won't just be answered tonight, but through the rest of the season. So you can't look at tonight as a sample to it, because there is so much season left. And who knows? 3 months down the road, we look back and say, hey, you know what? Woody making that change was a difference in this season, either in a good way or a bad way. But at 2-3 and some tough opponents coming up, Woody put his foot down and made the move. And my hair is all over the place. You can see see it blowing in the wind. So this is Woody's decision. This is Woody's team right now. I mean, of course, on financially it is, but he put his mark on this team. And it brings me back to two press conferences from the late Leon Hess, who I know a lot of people, they didn't like Leon because he moved the team to New Jersey, but Leon Hess loved his Jets. And I remember him making the move from Pete Carroll to Rich Kotite because he needed to see results. He needed to win, and we know how that went. And then I also remember him really working the system to get Bill Parcells and Bill Belichick and Parcells' staff over to take over for the Jets. And the whole thing with Parcells and Robert Kraft was about shopping for the groceries, and cooking the meal and whatnot. And Leon Hess, who looked like an adorable old man, but probably had balls of steel. He, the story of him talking to, I believe, the head of Libya about oil, because he owned the Hess Corp, it just shows you how tough he was. Said, I'm 86 years old. I need to win. I want to win now. I don't care about, the groceries. I just want to go take a trip to the store with you, or something to that effect. Like, here, it's in your hands, do it. So that's what Woody Johnson did now. He put his foot down. He has his stamp on this team right now. It used to be the GM and him, and then the GM, with Tannenbaum and Rex and whatnot, but now the stamp, the move now, anything that happens for the rest of the season now, all goes back to Woody's decision. And I'm hoping that everybody's praising his decision when this is all said and done. So, all right, so we have a game to play. Could be for first place tonight. If the Jets win, they have, a half game up on the Bills. If the Bills win, they'll have 2 games up on the Jets. So this is a big game. In the middle of all this, remember Hassan Reddick? So last week after Saleh was let go, Woody Johnson made a plea to Hassan Reddick. Come on down to Florham Park. We'll welcome you. We'll work it out. And then reports start coming out that first Reddick owns, I believe, a senior health facility. And he had a partner, and he stiffed a partner out of $1 million. Basically, Reddick's name, and I guess he financially backed it and brought in somebody who can run the facility and or run the corporation, and he kind of stiffed him, so he's being sued by them. He then was let go by his agent. Now, he made it sound like he let the agent go, but he was let go by his agent. There were talks and news reports that the Jets had a deal in place for Reddick. He turned it down. There is, the end game for Reddick is either he plays and gets paid, or he doesn't play and then he pays. And this is the game here. So after game 6, If he doesn't have a deal with the Jets, he becomes a free agent. I'm sorry, he doesn't become a free agent. The Jets own his rights for next year. If he does sign with the Jets and it's not a multi-year deal, they could renegotiate at the end of the year, or he's a free agent. I think either way, he's going to try to renegotiate again next year. So reports come out this morning now, and it's all over Twitter, all over NFL Network, and I believe it was Ian Rappaport, because I have to give credit to where the report came from, I believe. It was Ian Rappaport who said, and sorry, the wind is just really howling, and you got to think about what it's going to be like at MetLife tonight. That Hassan Reddick has hired Drew Rosenhaus as his agent. Rosenhaus, very well known, famous and infamous agent for NFL players, many players in the league. And I think, a deal gets done immediately. I think if this happened Friday, the deal would have got done then. Reddick's playing tonight. But I think this deal gets done immediately. I do think that Reddick will be a Jet. Listen, I don't know what he's going to bring to the table. I don't know if he has anything he wants to do. These players that have these issues don't just go someplace and get and find the light, and just convert. So, if he comes out to the Jets and he starts playing next week in, our seventh game, and for the last 11 games he racks up 8 sacks, a couple of forced fumbles, maybe 15 tackles for losses, I'll take it. With him, it's going to be, what have you done for me now? And that's the way the Jets should look at it. And I think the Jets now have the upper hand again because he's looking for a deal. Now, over in Detroit, the Lions lost one of their star players yesterday to a very crucial, or I should say horrific, injury. So do the Lions reach out to the Jets and try to make a deal? Does Joe Douglas ever make Riddick put on the green and white pads, and helmet? Or does he go right to Detroit? Do we get rid of him? I don't know if signing him is the right way to go now. If he had started the season and reported everything, I definitely would have said, it was right to make that trade. But looking at him now and what he's done since the trade was made, and what he did prior to the trade with Philly, and not showing up to any of the camps or any of the practices, and not being on the facility, one just shows me that, he may come in and play and then say he doesn't want to play anymore. He may be a distraction in the locker room and in the huddle. And he may, at the end of the year, cause a lot of problems as well. If you tell me right now, signing him gets us to where we want to be, then by all means sign him, where we deal with the issues after the fact. But if this is going to be a soap opera throughout the whole rest of the season and beyond, then maybe, it's not such a good idea. Maybe we use him to get us more picks or to get us a player and picks or whatnot. And I trust Joe D on that. And I really wish we would have heard from Joe D about the last few weeks, especially with the Salah situation and the Reddick situation. I can remember, Santonio Holmes coming over. And I have a cousin who was married to a huge Steeler fan. Okay, huge Steeler fan. Go figure. He grew up in New England. His parents are season ticket holders for the Patriots, and he's a huge Steeler fan. And we were at an event, and me and my father were talking to him, and he said, Santonio Holmes, he caught the winning touchdown in the Super Bowl last year for us. You could have him. I don't want him. And you'll be sorry when you get him. And I remember Holmes coming over. He was suspended 4 games. We went through Hard Knocks with him. Then he missed the first 4 games. And then he came back, and he was just a force to be reckoned with. And the biggest catch, I remember, was that playoff game. He had 2. He had some tremendous catches that season. Even 4 games, after the first 4 games that he missed. He had that big catch against the Houston Texans with seconds remaining, back right corner of the end, back left corner of the end zone, tiptoeing in passed by Mark Sanchez, and they come back and win. And then he has that overtime win against the Browns, where he takes the slant and just makes a move inside and scores in overtime on the touchdown and beats Rex's brother. And then, of course, that huge catch, again, back, left corner of the end zone, 2 knees down as he comes down to the playoffs against the Patriots. And it was just, you figured, all right, we have this guy for the next 3 or 4 years. Him and Sanchez, along with Kotri and all them, they're just going to grow together and all that. And as the years got leaner and the team wasn't winning, he became a distraction to the point where I believe the last game of the season in Miami, they actually threw him out of the huddle. So he almost brought us to the promised land. In 10, you kind of lived with the way he was because he was an asset to the team. But then once he became a liability, you wanted him gone. With Reddick, does that happen? I don't know. I'm waiting to see how this plays out. Does Joe D sign him, or does Joe D move him and get, some draft capital or some assets? So tonight, like I said, right now the sun is out. It's, I believe it's like, high 50s, early 60s. Not a bad night. I'm walking with the t-shirt on, no jacket. The wind is picking up. It's supposed to be windy tonight. Supposed to get crisp tonight. So you have yourself an old-fashioned, fall football game, primetime football game. Look, everything is pointing towards us self-destructing. Interim head coach, quarterback who's not happy, so just this saying, who's saying that he is. Reports coming out that, he was part of getting rid of the head coach. Not getting along, not on the same page with his receivers. Devontae Adams still isn't a Jet, and may not be a Jet. Offensive line not playing the way they should be. Josh Allen, could pick apart any team. What do we expect tonight? Listen, I'm gonna call it out right now. I think the Jets play for that new interim head coach. I think they play for Ulbrich. I think the play calling, like my cousin Mikey said, will be a little different. They give a little wrinkle to the team, to the offense. And I think you'll see energy on this team. Okay? Now, that's not to say that the energy will outplay the talent on Buffalo, but I think it's going to make for a close game. I think the Jets win this one. I think the Jets win this one by less than a touchdown, but more than a field goal. Okay, so 4 or 5 points, maybe 6 points, they win by. And, you take it week by week. I don't know if this is going to be a springboard into a great season or just playing in the moment and it stays at that. We're going to see week to week. We're going to see what this team is. And the leadership needs to step up. It needs to step up on both sides. Aaron Rodgers needs to act like a leader. And I said that the first 2 weeks where I gave him credit, where he was calling, the cadences and calling his receiver to come back and whatever, on free plays, making the passes he needs to make. And all of a sudden that went away. And he's gotten sacked and gotten hit and has, gotten beat up, and dinged up. So I don't know. On defense, Mosley, the Williams brothers, they need to set the tone tonight. Sauce needs to be locked down. Reed needs to be locked down. No holding, no stupid penalties, and play a complete game. And for the first time, you'll have part of first place in a long time on this team. So that's where we are. We're about 7 hours away from kickoff. So let's see. Hopefully, we have a lot of good things to talk about, and we'll take it from there. So again, you're watching The Takeoff. Follow us on Twitter at The Jets Takeoff is our Twitter handle. Email thejets@gmail.com. And of course, subscribe to us on YouTube where you're watching this video right now. The Takeoff is the account on YouTube. At the Jets Takeoff is the channel. Have a blessed week, a blessed week, whatever you call it. Stay safe, stay healthy, and a lot of good sports going on in New York right now. Good night.